What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB. You're back once again. Big shout out to my doggy, the real UFC legend, undefeated heavyweight champion, the greatest heavyweight of all time, Stipe Miocic. Bosh. Okay. Damn, man, that vape's killing me. The moody vape and the moody cabal juice is killing me, man, for sure. No doubt about it. Anyway, let's get to it. Bosh. John. Oh, Fury. Oh, my balls. Oh, my balls. Yeah. He comes out and he's got some funny. Obviously, Tommy Fury fought some retired Hungarian Uber driver, retired as well. He was signed off on the 6th. So Tommy Fury fights his cat, who's driving Uber professionally, to his credit. Professional Uber driver. He's since retired and he's been signed off on the sick. He can no longer operate motor vehicles. So he had a sad end to his Uber driving career. Nonetheless, Tommy dug him up. Yeah, Tommy dug him up from the PIP office. That's what he found this guy at, man. Dug him up, got in there, and Tommy stunk the place out, man. He went life and death. 2-2s. John Fury's now come out saying, well, balls. His hand. It broke his hand. He was gonna get it. But, come on, man. He broke his hand. He was gonna knock him out in 30 seconds, but his hand went. You just stop now. Tommy, for me, I'm trying to think, who's had less power than Tommy before? Think of someone. Who's had less power than Tommy? I think he's up there. Especially when you factor in how he looks the part. I wouldn't say he looks the part, he looks half the part. His shoulders are they look a bit too big. He looks off, but still. He looks half the part. And he can't punch for toffee, man, seriously. We say it a lot here, but he really can't punch, man. He can't punch for nothing. Anyway, let's get to the bars from John, because we're going to expose it as well. These men have always got some sort of excuse. Yeah? Oh, Tyson was overtrained, even though he had 4 weeks off. Overtrained after 4 weeks off. You're back to square one after 4 weeks off. If you can't recover in 4 weeks, yeah, you're back to square one. What did you have? Triple bypass surgery. What do you need 4 weeks for, man? How did a cut on your eye stop you hitting the bag? How did it stop you running? Look, I'd love to understand that science there. Anyway, John's always got an excuse. His excuse for why Tommy stunk the place out is quite funny to hear. Here we go. Here we go, people. Let's get the speed on point.
What do you think of Tommy's performance there? And was there a little niggle to his hand during the fight?
The hand is going to be a problem. He said to me at the end of the third round, he said, this hand's gone. I said, well, listen, I didn't want to say too much because the cameras, the listening device in the corner, we didn't want the opposition to know the hand was a problem.
Let me just stop you. Listen. I get it, John. Yeah, Tommy was fighting Golovkin for undisputed middleweight world championship. So I understand that. Listen, man, I could come on here and laugh and say, oh, how stupid is that? How stupid is it that John Fury doesn't want Gennady Golovkin in an undisputed fight to know his hand's broken? So he didn't want to say too much. I could come on here and we could laugh about that, but John's got a good point. When you're fighting Gennady Golovkin at middleweight for the undisputed championship of the world, it makes sense. Like Tommy was fighting. Listen, man, we can't really clown Tommy. We can't really clown John for wanting to keep his broken hand a secret against Gennady Golovkin for the undisputed championship of the world. John, man, he was fighting what do you think this is? Oh, we didn't want this retired Uber driver to know we had a broken hand. He was shocked that he broke his hand in the third round. Well, what was you doing for the first 2 rounds? They were stinkers too. It wasn't like he was lighting him up. I don't even know how you broke your hand. It's like Shakur Sleepmanson. Shakur Sleepmanson's hitting the pads and then his hand goes. It's like, what? Yeah? You got Fraser Softbones Clark. His bones, these new age man. It's not really their fault though. The new age man, the reason the bones are so soft, yeah. They're putting pure estrogen in the water. Pure estrogen. It's not really... You think you're drinking H2O? No. You're drinking estrogenic 2O. That's what they call it now. This ain't the same water they was drinking 50 years ago, people. I hate to break it to you. Yeah? Oh, maybe that's No, there's nothing conspiratorial about it, man. Yeah? Nothing conspiratorial about it. These dudes' bones are soft, man. Yeah? Breaking your... Tommy's ribs... Remember the other day his rib was gone? The other day he was doing something, for the Jake Paul, the first fight that was rescheduled. Oh, I hurt my rib. This guy ain't fighting enough. Oh, but YB, to be fair, he did just do 12 rounds with Beterbiev, so his hand went. Okay. Yeah. Oh, YB, he did just do 12 rounds with Gennady Golovkin, so his rib went. Okay. You're in the gym, you're fighting a plumber, a retired plumber at that. A retired Hungarian plumber at that. And your hand's gone. And I guess you can argue, well, YB, you haven't been in there, and I just think at a certain level, just keep the excuses to yourself. Just keep the narrative. You shouldn't need narratives to explain fighting some retired jobber. Yeah, it becomes embarrassing. Listen, if you've just, let's say Tommy lost to Golovkin on points, even then people critique excuses, but I mean, a narrative may be required in such circumstance. Hey Tommy, you did well, mate. You won 5 rounds against Golovkin. At which point Tommy could say, well, you know what? I probably would have won 7 if my hand hadn't gone in round 3. I mean, people might hate on it, but you know what? It is what it is. This guy, though, he's always got some problem. There's always something. There's some reason why he's going life and death. And I don't think his hand was hurt. And even if his hand was hurt, you got your other hand. At this level, Tommy was clinging on, dancing around the place. Now people say, oh, well, YB, you know, it really hurts your hand. I've seen dudes with one arm, dislocated shoulder, having a go. Even George Groves, his arm went. I think, was it his shoulder? Something went in his arm against Eubank. He didn't fall apart. He still maintained his level, more or less. You make it work. And that's against, we're talking world level type challenges here. You stunk the place out with some dude. Where you dig him up from? But anyway, let's get back to it.
But, again, the kid was 6 fights, 5 wins, and 4 every fight he won by KO. And he even had the fight he lost in. He had the man down in that fight. But this man come in incredible shape. That wasn't the man I looked at. When I looked at him box on the video and I said, yeah, we'll take him, it was 2 different fighters. He trained his bollocks off.
So, again, John Fury here is reiterating. It's like, well, my hand was broken, but also this guy was the incarnate of Muhammad Ahmad Beterbiev Golovkin Gennady. Yeah, that's what he's basically telling you. My hand went, but he was hard as nails. Proper hard. Old school hard. Let me show you this guy who's in absolutely 10 out of 10 shape. Let me find titties. We did a video the other day on this, man. Let me find titties quickly, man. Let me find titties. Because some of you, man, you need to keep up. Oh, come on, man. All these moody links. Watching the moody videos right now. Let's find this. Let's find titties, man. Tommy Fury weigh-in. This is the guy that John Fury claims was the second coming of Muhammad Ahmad Gennady Beterbiev Golovkin. Let's find this guy here. Let's find this guy right here. Let's find this guy. Right, come on, man. There's the shot. There's the money shot. And I'm not knocking him, man. He's retired. He retired. He on the sick. He ain't supposed to be fighting like that. So this isn't an indictment on him. But let's not do that. Oh, well, he was actually really good and really fit. Let's see how fit this guy was. Yeah. That there, people. Come on. Look at it. See the crease? Can you see the crease here? That's a T. Yeah? Those are Perky C-cups. I said this before the other day. They're Perky C-cups, man. You got a good handful there. Look at this titty here hanging over there, man. No, I'm not knocking this guy. Fair play. I think if he was fit, he might have give Tommy some proper... Tommy, it was a stinker, man. But if I was judging it, I'd have called it a draw, to be honest. Didn't see nothing from Tommy that would tell me he needed to win that fight. That was definitely a win. It was probably a draw. adjusted for the circumstances, which is what I do in my scoring. I don't score things round by round. I score things based on, wait there a minute, you've flown this guy in 4 weeks' notice, and you're the massive A-side who does this professionally and trains all day and night. You don't have a second occupation. I expect to see something. So these type of cats, these retired Uber drivers, when I'm scoring a 6-round fight, for example, he's starting up 2 rounds. Oops. That's how I'm doing it from now on. He's starting up 2 rounds. You've got to show me something. And if you don't, you've got to draw at best. And Tommy got to draw at best here. He might have lost, to be honest. Really underwhelming.
For Tommy. But you know what? It's just what we wanted. We didn't want a 1-round knockout. And I wanted somebody who could fight. The kid had over 140 amateur bouts. So he's seasoned amateur. Young, 27-year-old. A young man. And he fetched his entourage with him to win, didn't he?
And this is the thing as well. You notice this. When a prospect is knocking everyone out in round 1, they say, wow, this guy is the most ferocious thing I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. And then when he has a stinker against a journeyman, they say, well, now we wanted to get round, so yeah, we kind of got tired of knocking everyone. No, people, let me tell you something now. No one gets tired of knocking people out in 1 round. That is the money. Yeah. If you could script a career, it would probably look something like fake pools, right? You're just knocking all the stiffs out. Yeah, that's how you know it's a script. It's all fake news. It's all fake and gay. That's what it is. Look at fake Paul's career, man, for example. No one wants to do 6 rounds. Yeah, and even if that whole narrative of, we wanted to get rounds in. If it's a 6-round fight, yeah, and you just wanted to get rounds in, you could stop him in round 5, right? Because in fact, that change of pace will be more valuable to your experience and or increasing your level up, right? You're training yourself to be able to box at a canter and then up the levels and get people who aren't on your level out of there. That would be the best of both worlds. And that's probably advisable. Like if I was a Talma or training a Talma, I mean, I guess there's 2 ways to look at it. If you can keep getting them out there in 1 round, that's not bad. But as long as you're getting them out of there, if you want to get some rounds and have a look and try some things and then spark them out, that's as good as a 1-round knockout. Maybe in the long run, even better. But whilst you're fighting plumbers, you're supposed to get them out of there, especially at heavyweight. Tommy was at heavyweight. He was 210 pounds. At heavyweight, you should be getting them out of there. And if you're not, there needs to be serious questions asked. And what you don't do is, well, he was really hard. This guy was Golovkin's brother, man, that no one ever heard of. He was Golovkin's brother. He was Golovkin's twin, in fact. Apparently, that's what they're saying. This guy here, Gennady Golovkin's dad, had a moody affair, and this was Golovkin's long-lost twin brother. Apparently, they got, I don't know, listen, I wasn't there. I can't verify this, but from what I heard, Gennady Golovkin was a twin. They were separated at birth, and this is his twin. They're genetically identical, and you saw it. John Fury just told you he had the hardest training camp ever. So you've got Gennady Golovkin's twin brother, identical twin brother, who's had the hardest camp of all time. And Tommy, to his credit, was able to negotiate with a broken hand. Because this man he was hard as... Listen, man, we can laugh. Oh, YB, Tommy couldn't stop him. Tommy's not supposed to stop Gennady Golovkin's identical twin, to be fair, right? So the fact he went points is probably not a bad thing. He was never going to stop him anyway. Yeah? So we have to give Tommy Fury credit for that. This guy weren't no scrub. This guy wasn't called up on 4 weeks' notice. This guy didn't have titties. This guy wasn't retired Uber driver. Yeah? He was Gennady Aimard Beterbiev's long lost, separated at birth, identical twin brother. That's what he was. And John Fury just told you. Bosh.
He had a lot of support in the hall. He wasn't no journeyman come to take a knee and get his paycheck and go home. He come to win. And he had his family with him. He had his supporters with him. And he come to do the business.
No, he's not a journeyman. Listen. Yeah? Let's do... If this is true, if these bars are true from John Fury, I've got a way we can test this. Okay? What you do is, you put Moses Atalma in there with this guy. Yeah, and we'll see how much of a not journeyman he is, right? And if Atalma goes 6 rounds with him, I'll put my hands in the air and say, listen, man, you're right. This guy really was Golovkin's long-lost brother. That's what I'd have to say at that point. But my money would be on, you put that dude in there, you put titties in there. Where's titties at, man? Show me them titties again. Where titty at, man? Show me them titties. Show me them titties, man. You put titties in there with Atalma, what's happening, people? What are you, man, betting on? Oops. Who here betting on a 6-round stinker with a Talma clean on at the end? Not likely, is it? In fact, there's more chance of me winning the lottery, seriously. I think there's more chance of me winning the lottery than this guy going 6 rounds of a Talma. Too leaky deaky. Way too slow. Come on now. Stop playing with me. Just almost insulting the fans' intelligence. I actually like... It's rare. And I guess when you win, it's easy to be positive. But a recent example, it's not exactly the same because you didn't win. But these days, you've got too many bootlickers and shills. You don't really have proper trainers. In as much as when Conor Benn lost to Eubank Jr., Nigel, it's a bit different, but still. Nigel's his father, obviously. But Nigel was honest and said, yeah, he was doing things in there. It was a bit buck wild. It wasn't refined. It wasn't on point. It wasn't laser guided. You don't really hear them critiques. When have you ever heard Bill Haney critique Devin? Or any of these new age trainers? You don't hear no... And maybe the argument is, well, you shouldn't say things publicly. I don't get the feeling they're saying nothing nowhere. Yeah, in fact, they come out glazing like this. The truth would be, Tommy should be stopping these type of guys. Not making excuses about how hard the guy was and how much he trained and how we didn't want to do that anyway. Yeah? And I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying I could do it. But just call it. If I went in there and stunk the place out, you have to say that. You'd have to say, listen, man, it was underwhelming to tell the truth. It's not what I expected. Which would be the truth. That's how they must really be feeling. Instead, they're trying to spin us a yarn. Yeah? They're trying to sell us a driveway. That's the equivalent here. Yeah? What John Fury's doing here is trying to sell your nan a roof. He's trying to sell your nan some landscaping. He's trying to sell your nan a tarmac driveway. Yeah? On the Never Never. Okay? Fake. It's just all fugazi. Tell the truth, man. That sucked. That was bad. It was a bad look. Seriously. I'm not even just hating it. It was a bad look. Listen, I did a video the other day on it. The highlights of it. Tommy was just clinging on. Crazy.
Business. And what a great fight. Good 6 rounds, but Tommy boxed impeccably. Listened to good instructions. And what a great fight. Good 6 rounds, but Tommy boxed impeccably. Listened to good instructions, stayed calm, stayed behind.
It was a great fight. Tommy boxed impeccably. Again. People say the same. Bill Haney says the same about Devin Haney at the weekend versus Ramirez. Oh, it was impeccable. Oh, it was boxing. It stinks. Seriously, I'm not a hater, man. I'm not. It stinks. That stunk, man. It wasn't even like you're on the outside and you're peppering him. That would have stunk too. But he was literally running around and clinging on. There was nothing going on in there. It was embarrassing. And when you're a certain level, when you're a full-time professional fighter, I'm sorry, I expect more. This is your craft. I expect to see something. In reality, it turns out this looks like Tommy Fury's level. Which makes sense, because that's Jake Paul's level. Jake Paul and him went life and death in a draw. Yeah? This guy, Tommy, in there with this guy, these guys are journeymen, quality. Tommy fits right in with these men. Throughout his whole career, he's always going life and death with randoms on 2 weeks' notice. He's always in a 4-2 type fight. That means that's his level. Because anyone else, you can critique, oh, AJ's got no chin. Oh, AJ's a hype drop. To be fair to him, or any of these men, they were getting him out of there. These type of caliber, it wasn't even in the question, right? There was no... When was the last time you saw AJ on his come up saying, oh, I hurt my hand, so I had to go life and death with this random dude? When was the last time you heard that? Or anyone else for that matter? You just don't hear it. Crazy.
The jab, busted him up with a jab, up and down with it, body to head. Put the punches together when needed to. 15 months out of the ring, incredible. But Tommy's proved now he's the real deal, isn't he? He's the real deal, always has been, this kid. But he wouldn't give him a break, seeing he's a YouTuber and this, that and the other.
Tommy Fury's proven he's the real deal. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm thinking maybe I'm in an alternate universe. I'm thinking maybe we're wrong here. It's based on what John's saying, he must have fought Golovkin. Or Bivol. I think he fought Bivol at 175. I think we're getting it all mixed up. We're in a different timeline here. We're seeing videos from one timeline, but our timeline is different. In John's timeline, he just beat Alexander Usyk at heavyweight for he just beat 100%. He just beat Bivol at 175, man. Robbed all his belts. That's how it's sounding to me. It was spectacular. He's the real deal now. You look at all. He even says, "Oh, all the haters were saying about YouTube. Look at him now. Look at me now." If Tommy was saying the same thing, "Oh, I've rose back from the ashes." That's crazy, man. And I'm not even saying people need to be humble, but just like, I'd be embarrassed, honestly. If I was a full-time professional, really good fighter, there's no way I could lie to myself and say, I'm always a bit more of a pessimist anyway. I tend to lean to the negative side of things, if you haven't noticed. But I apply it to myself as well. I wouldn't sit here and sugarcoat. You know what I mean? Let's go. Come on, man. Let's be honest here. That sucked, and the opponent sucked. There's nothing to say. Yeah, but he's proven now. He's proven he's the real deal. Vidal Riley's been calling him out. Beat him, and I'd say, fair play, man. You're on the way to proving you're the real deal. Well, I think that's fair to say. If he beat Vidal, which I'd bet my life on, he ain't beating Vidal. Not even. He wouldn't get a look in edgeways, man. He couldn't even beat Fake Paul convincingly. Let's call it. Come on now. He don't want that. Yeah. Tommy's going to be the YouTube. That's exactly what he is. He's going to be bootlicking, trying to suck Jake Paul off for a fight. Or KSI. I don't even want to see that KSI fight again. I don't want to see KSI fight again, full stop, man. Just hopping around and shit. That was a bad look, man. I used to like KSI as well. When KSI fought Logan, he was coming in having a go. I don't know what happened to him. He just starts jumping around like a jack in the box. It's like, what's going on with... What's happened to him? Not that he was a boxer, but what happened, man? What happened to the game? Everyone's hopping... Jarpatai is hopping around, and everyone's hopping around now. It's annoying. Fight.
You know, that kid, this battling Bosnian, I'm going to call him, was as tough as teak. He took some artillery in, but Tommy's up at a new weight as well, 14.5 stone. He's moved from a light heavyweight to 14 stone 7. You know, so listen, I think he dealt with it extremely well all round. The weight adjustment, inactivity, couldn't have gone any well. He got the rounds in. It's just what I wanted. I said in the last video, we need the rounds, and he got them, and he got a tough 6 rounds because the kid wanted to win.
Tommy made no bones about what he wants next. He said, Jake Paul, and then used a choice word for it. But that's the fight he wants next. You think that will materialise?
He's frightened to death of Tommy Fury. He's terrified of Tommy Jake Paul. So's the other one, KSI. You know, he's up now, a bigger man. He's a bigger weight. When he settles into this weight, you know, you'll see the damage he'll be doing.
Oh my God. John Fury's saying he's settling into that weight. It must be cruiserweight, I assume. He's not ever going to be heavyweight. He's as big as he gets. So settle into cruiserweight. Oh my, he couldn't punch at 170. He's honestly, Tommy, yeah, if he was disciplined and in the gym, he'd be 175. That's the God's honest truth. I don't think he'd even be, I think he'd be a solid sized. Think about Benavidez, for example, at 175 now. Yeah? Tommy's no bigger than Benavidez. I don't think. Now, obviously, he's pumped full of weights and pumped full of boar meat. But if he stopped doing that and was if he was trying to make a, listen, if Tommy was trying to make a serious professional run, he'd be like heavyweight. That's what he'd do. He'd never be. What's he going to do at cruiserweight? He can't punch, man. He can't. Listen, cruiserweights and heavyweights are supposed to be the biggest punches there are. This guy can't punch at all. And even if he could, he'd break his hand anyway. So he's come on now. Listen, man. Jake Paul's gonna fly his ass out to Shekel land, and he's gonna have to make his booty pop. That's what Tommy's gonna have to do to get put on here. He's gonna have to put on for the shekel and beg for the Netflix bag. That's his only chance to make any bread, and he knows that. All due his, but well, it's not the fact he knows it. He LARPs, yeah. Tommy's a LARPer. He role plays being serious. If he was honest and said, "Listen, man, I'm a YouTube clown," yeah, I'd respect it more. But he LARPs like, yeah, woo, I'm making a run, and then you stay trying to lick Jake Paul's balloon knot for the bag. Yeah, that's for Gazy, man. I guarantee you, Tommy will never have a serious fight in his career. He'll bootlick for KSI. He'll bootlick for Fake Paul. And then maybe, I don't know, what kind of fun fights are there? There's none really out there, to be honest. Those are the two. And he'll be able to retire off that if he's half sharp. But between them all, he's probably made 10 mil before taxes. So you're looking at 5 mil. It's not a bad income. What's that? What can that generate you? 5 mil can bring you in like 250 a year. Cash. Is it 250 a year? It must be about that. 200, 250 a year off interest, off the shekel trust. That's not bad living, man. That's not a bad living. $250 a year. Bosh. Rolling in for doing nothing, man. Not even one bit of work. And that's what he needs to do, and he knows that. Because if he tries to have half, I'm trying to think. Let's think of some cruiserweights. What's that cat's name? Chamberlain. I'd back Chamberlain to box Tommy up. Seriously. Chamberlain. Even Jack Massey would walk through Tommy, I believe. Tommy, listen. That guy who was in there with titties. Where's titties at? Show me them titties. Where's his titties? Show me them titties again. I love them titties. I love them small perky C cups, man. Show me them titties right now. There's the titties there. Bosh. Titties was walking him down. Titties wasn't shook. Titties wasn't second guessing. There was points. The referee was trying to get him to engage. Tommy was running off too much. Chamberlain, Jack Massey walked right onto him. Is my base case, unless they've been paid by the cabal to jump on the floor. Anyway.
Because the man he boxed tonight was a legit 94 kilogram guy, you know, and the fella told us when he's out of training he's walking at 18 stone, so he's a big boy and he come to fight. But you know what, he righted a lot of wrongs tonight. He shut a lot of critics up, you know. The kid's a novice himself, but we moved to 11-0.
He shut a lot of critics up. What planet? What universe? What dimension? What timeline are these men in? They shut a lot of critics up. What the really quite fascinating. They're talking like I know I keep mentioning Golovkin, but that's how it's sounding to me. It's sounding like he's really done something here. What RYB? But you know, it's his dad. He's got, I don't know, man. I couldn't do that. I might not necessarily air him out on TV, but I wouldn't be sitting there trying to tell you that red is black. That's what I'm hearing right now. Oh, he did really well, and this guy's one of the top cruiserweight. Well, this guy's one of the top heavyweights in the world. Yeah, Tommy flew in. I think he was top heavyweight. I'm trying to think who there is. Oh yeah, look, Tommy's proven his salt now. He's proven his weight worth in gold now. Yeah. He just boxed up Ajit Caballero. Yeah, Caballero isn't the most known heavyweight. Listen, man, if that was the case, I'd come on here and say, if Tommy scraped out a points win against Caballero at heavyweight, I'd say, listen, man, I was wrong all this time. I'd say, all the bars we're hearing now from John Fury, I'd say fair play to him. You can't argue with that. He's proven that he's a serious guy. This guy here, titties. The way John told, if you didn't watch this fight, if you didn't know it was Star and Titties, the C cup, perky C cups, you'd have thought Tommy's done a proper job. I just don't get where they make these man out. I wonder what's going through people's head. Is it this John gets caught in? It's a bit like Donald Trumpowitz. Is it a bit like they're just bombastic? Everything's I love it. I can't do Trump, but you get the point. He speaks bombastic, right? Everything's excellent and fantastic. Maybe it's an element of that, but it's, either way, Donald Trumpowitz or not, it's all just a bit cringe. There's no, just tell the truth. Just say, listen, it was okay. It was a bit stinky. In fact, it was a bit stinky, but here we are. We move on to the next one. The argument is, well, they're trying to sell a fight. They're trying to build the next fight, so he's got to say something, but I don't know. Not for me. Anyway, here's Tommy, by the way, as a final note, exposing the fake news about the broken hand. And these are the narratives we always hear when these guys stink the place out. Anyway, here we go.
The whole world is waiting for you to rematch with Jake Paul. What do you think about it?
Jake Paul's a bitch, and he's running scared. Hey, Jake! Hands fixed now, baby. The hand's fixed. I fought a guy in here tonight. He's had over 100 amateur fights, experienced as F, and he's as tough as teak. Jake Paul wants to step inside this ring, I guarantee you.
So,
next time I'll knock you spark out. I've had two.
Tommy Juicery, man. Tommy Juicery. Your big shoulder caps, and you got a bit like huge, like bodybuilding. You got bodybuilding baps, any there. But anyway, the point was, Tommy says, my hand's fixed now, Jake. I'm going to give it to you. So which is it? Is his hand fixed, or did he bust his hand in round 3? I don't really care what it was. Either way, it stunk, man. Hand broke or not, I don't care. It stunk. Stinky. And that's the bottom line. These guys, they're good for content. I'm not gonna lie. I'll be a hater if I sat here and said, "Oh, I don't want to hear from John Fury again." I do. I find it titillating. But that's the extent of this whole thing here. Is titillation for the unwashed masses. Yeah. And he know it. Does he know it? Probably not. I think they're a bit deluded. I think there's part of John that actually thinks it's fantastic what happened there, and his people have been quieted. He's quieted the masses down. Because you thought I was a YouTuber, and now you've just seen me box Gennady Golovkin's identically twinned brother. It's head off. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe, like the bell, 100%. There's no doubt about it. Some people stop it. Ball.